Blueprint Radio, a guide to fitness, health, and wealth, brought to you by Mass Mutual Miami, where your financial health is our #1 priority. As always, I am Karen Garcia, here with my amazing co-host, Dr. Scott Kjelson.
Hello, hello.
And celebrity fitness enthusiast, Mr. Tony Thomas.
How you doing?
And as always, our goal is simple, and it's to educate, enlighten, and hopefully entertain each and every one of our listeners and viewers on how improving fitness, health, and wealth will lead to overall success.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about timing and how the role it plays in fitness, health, and wealth. As you well know, timing cannot be recreated. In fact, you don't get it back. So you got to make the most of it when you can, and that's what we're going to show you, how you can make the most of it. All right, in the fitness and health world, timing plays a key role in your productivity, whether it be for nutrition or fitness. In fitness, it could be as simple as just your pace and tempo during your exercises. Did you know that if you slow down your repetitions, you get more muscular recruitment? All right, so what does that mean? Your brain fires neurons that send stimulus to your arms, your muscles to walk, move, to lift weights. Now, if you take your time and do your reps slowly, all these neurons will fire and you'll recruit more muscle fibers because your muscles are actually thinking. They're saying, control this weight to come down, and we'll help you if you fire the right neurons directly to those passages. So just slowing down your reps can enhance your workout, add more muscular gains. Even with your diet, and I know Dr. Scott could even chime in on this, if you just add 35 grams, for instance, of protein and 6 grams of essential amino acids to your workout, you're not only adding more productivity with your muscle building, you can elongate how active you are during your workout. If you go in depleted, what do you turn through? Muscle tissue. So is there anything that you can add to that? Because I know a lot of people here with nutrition questions want to know, how do they maintain throughout a workout?
Yeah, and it depends on the workout. It also, and that would come from you as well, the intensity of the workout as well. So higher intensity, you're going to burn more of your glycogen storage, which is meaning that you need to actually supply more back into your diet. A lot of runners, they run for many hours, and they actually cause a lot of inflammation, and a lot of that inflammation can actually be reduced by proper storage of those glycogen in the liver and so on. But also, again, just somebody starting out, let's say, that would be a difference of dieting at that time. So I do believe that, yes, it does depend on the workout.
So I'm going to ask again from sort of a layperson. So I go to the gym, and I just want to go back to what you said. You said, for example, if I'm doing my crunches,
right.
There is a difference, right? Well, if I'm slowly bringing it up and then not just crashing down,
right.
but slowly bringing it back, I'm engaging more the muscle.
Right.
And you said something about I forget what you said, something technical that I didn't follow.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
I can explain.
Okay,
I can definitely
please do.
explain. Like, for instance, with the crunch, people want to get the definition. When you make a muscle,
right,
you see everything, every striation, all the muscles combine,
right.
and you that's how people get on the show and they bodybuild and they show definition throughout their whole muscle. It's the same way you should do your reps when you're lifting. Some people lift just to lift.
Yeah,
you're pushing the weight, you're letting momentum assist you because you're swinging your arms or you're doing it. If you slow it down, allow gravity to set that disadvantage on you. Your muscles, you'll recruit more muscle fibers because your brain is going to fire more neurons to those areas.
It's also about blood flow.
And blood flow, exactly.
Yeah, so like contraction in a muscle is going to create, like what he's saying, signals. Mm-hmm. And those signals are going to say we need more nutrients because we're utilizing that muscle fiber and we're reducing the energy storage in that muscle group.
Exactly.
So it's like with the timing, it's more quality versus quantity in a way, because if I'm sitting here just trying to get through 100 reps, just bad form, and just go boom, 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 boom like that, it's not as efficient as if maybe I focused and engaged every muscle in my core to do 25 solid reps.
Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to get across, because sometimes, pace and tempo does work. And then there's sometimes where you want to go a little faster.
Okay.
It's just a different system.
Sure.
But as far as muscular recruitment, taking your time and allowing all the fibers to recruit is the best way to do it.
When I think speaking to the person that, let's say, works out maybe never or works out sometimes, it may not be as easy to engage and contract for a long period of time. You may say, well, I couldn't do that, I give up type of concept.
Right.
So sometimes some of those higher reps get you with the range of motion, get you with the blood flow, get the muscles moving, and the joints, we all know,
I
can
can
be an
relate
issue.
to that. I'm going to give you a perfect example. before I was pregnant, I would be able to do a plank for 45 seconds. I mean, I just did because I was thin. I had the abs after the C-section. I could not hold a plank for more than 10 seconds, and it wasn't pain from the surgery. I couldn't even feel my muscles. I had to kind of visualize the muscles in my stomach, and I still can't hold the plank like I used to.
Well,
It's funny that you said that visualizing is a part of mind control too as well, and that's where it all starts.
Well, you have to remember the muscle fibers are being cut too, and so like,
Oh, yes,
so
I do remember. They are. You're
so,
right.
so the nerves, you know,
That's why we
nerves
don't feel.
right. Nerves don't reproduce like you see about muscle tissue and so forth. So yeah, you're gonna have to
Work harder.
I guess it would be compensating in the sense,
Right.
but it could grow back and it will grow back. It's just again what he's saying is focusing on those muscles and contracting them and getting those signals to fire so you can get the nutrients to rebuild that muscle properly.
Perfect.
And on the fact of rebuilding, you know, a lot of people tend to, you know, do their protein shakes or might get their amino acids like after their workout, but they'll say, hey, I'll wait till I get home. If you don't do it immediately after, you already lost.
Well,
You know, you should
that's
be doing
interesting.
it immediately after your workout.
Which
and
one?
start
After the workout? I'm sorry.
Protein.
Perfect.
Immediately after.
Timing's
Don't wait
important
till you
there.
get home. 10 to 15, just 10 to 15 grams. 10 to 15 grams right after a workout, and then maybe fixing your shake, you know, your official shake when you get home. Yeah, that's fine. But you should get at least 10 to 15 grams immediately after, so it could start.
You should carry that with you in your bag,
repairing
or have it handy, or just make sure to
Right.
plan for that.
Well,
The body needs it. The body wants it at that point.
I'm gonna add a
Even-
little bit to that because
Please.
proteins are a little bit different, and this is going back into studies. But amino acids, in the sense of branched chain amino acids, before, after, proteins before, after, pretty similar results
Okay.
depending on the workout. Most of the time, though, from a conceptual point, proteins actually are not as important in the sense, and I don't mean it in anabolic and rebuilding, I mean it in storage. So think about this. Carbohydrates
Okay.
are more important to replenish, which a lot of people try to cut, and I'll get into that in a second. We'll have some fun with that.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is carbohydrates. Why? Because when your body's energy sources are down, it wants to what? Produce more energy,
Right.
so
Right.
it can, you know, it can put back where it's lost. So what happens is you start to break down muscle.
Okay.
Right? So that's why actually protein and a carbohydrate source is actually better because proteins are not, and when I say it's not as necessary, I mean timing wise, because you could take proteins an hour after and still replenish the muscles. I do agree with you, it's important to have it right after
Right.
because your
Right.
body is the first thing you put back into your stomach.
You're maximizing by.
But I could say, I'm sure you do it a lot. You get a shake in the morning and you go work out.
Yeah.
Right? It happens a lot. You already have it there. What it's going to do is break down, absorb, and so forth. Branched chain amino acids, especially leucine, valine, and so forth. Those are very important, right? Because those are the main energy sources with branched chain. We don't get those from our diets necessarily. So ideally, yes. But I do say carbohydrates at a small rate, depending on the
Right.
workout, obviously.
Don't need a loaf of bread.
Right. So I'll say
Because I heard that it gets the insulin going, and
Correct.
then that also prevents muscle breakdown.
correct. So insulin's a growth hormone, somewhat of a what they call. I don't want to say it is
Right.
the growth hormone.
Right.
But yes, insulin. The other thing is when you have, and I'll get into that a little bit. I don't want to get too much into science. I
okay.
I love it too much
We'll bring it back
sometimes.
down. We'll bring it back down to reality because we're gonna when we get
So,
confused, you know. everybody will get-
Here's how it is. So food goes into your stomach, and I'm gonna simplify this just for all my science nerds out there, because I am one. So food goes in, you absorb it. Obviously, you metabolize the foods, and then what happens is you get the carbohydrates are taken out. The insulin is raised at first because it sees food. It's a signal from the brain, which we were
Right.
speaking about earlier.
Okay.
The insulin then gets taken into the muscle or the cells where it takes that sugar to replenish. I'm going to, again,
Okay.
simplify everything.
Got it.
So this is actually what the problem is when people have too much carbs or binge carbs on a regular basis because the insulin is staying then inside the tissue. It's not coming back out. That's what causes that resistance. So you have high blood sugar, which leads to metabolic disorders. So
Diabetes?
okay.
That's a metabolic disorder,
Okay.
obesity, so forth. But yeah, I mean, insulin is a huge factor for that.
Okay.
That's why it's a timing
Timing is so
aspect.
important.
You don't want to just consume.
You
You
have to know.
time it after your workouts, like he's saying.
So quality and timing seems to be the key here, right?
Of course, of course.
So tell me a little bit about how quality and timing can relate to nutrition specifically.
Okay, well, I mean, quality is, I guess you could say, the most important word to use there. But timing obviously is our topic of the day, and I think it's so important. I mean, we just spoke about this from the gym aspect. You were speaking earlier about how somebody maybe a little bit older, starting the gym later,
That's right.
getting into that activity.
Yeah.
We got to remember that liver function, kidney function, I mean, all of your vital organs are also lowered in their capacity to metabolize and so forth.
The older we get.
Of course. That's
Right.
the aging process.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We were having that conversation off camera, guys. So
Correct.
to regroup, the question was, does it matter? Let's say I didn't work out all my life, and at age 35, I want to work out. Is that a lot harder for me?
Correct. And
Got
it is. And again, quality. When you come back to quality, I mean, Tony, let me ask you this question right here. You see a lot of bodybuilders, right? A lot of guys that they're going to competition, and what do? They cut carbs, and it's that timing right before the workout or the show.
It's science, these guys.
Right, but then what do they do right after? They'll post pictures of ice cream, pizza, and it's splurging because they're like done, right? A lot of wrestlers do that in high school, and this is not a healthy concept. So as much as it's a job, it's very unhealthy. So timing and quality, we want to keep a consistency. You just used that word earlier, consistency. We need to keep consistency in our diets. And also you got to look at it like this, going back to what you said. Timing, I mean, think about this. You've been training your body to walk to work or walk up the stairs and so forth. But when you get to the gym, we expect constant results right away.
Right.
Timing is everything. Timing is our worst enemy when it comes to the fitness aspect.
Exactly.
So eating the right foods helps maintain your inner core. It also helps to develop the outer, the aspect of looking, right? So you start to see results better. When you go look into the healthcare industry, you're starting to see timing in healthcare like genomics, nanotechnology, a lot of things being fought on the cellular level, which is the most important thing. I love science, I love technology on that concept, and trends in fitness. More gyms are offering in-depth testing and so forth like that, right? It's becoming a trend now, right?
That's true. Look, we were just talking, Tony and I, again, off camera. We should have these conversations on camera on how maybe doing a simple stress test could give my trainer more ammunition to help me train more appropriately.
Right.
There you go.
Individualized.
Individualized.
To be honest, I love where we are today in healthcare. I love where we're moving, where we're revolutionizing, because we have a better outcome. We're actually going to be able to live longer because a lot more studies have been done and now being reproduced, right? We look at some things like, I don't know if you guys have heard of the blue zones. Blue zones are areas in the world where people live the longest. And I'll tell you,
I heard about that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one of the things.
Where is it?
They
I
drink,
want to move there.
They drink.
I think Italy is one of those places, right? Or
There's different areas.
Different
Actually,
areas.
California has one.
Sardinia.
There's places. These places they have a statistic analytics. They drink 2 drinks on average a night. I don't know which ones, so don't go out there thinking whiskey's gonna be the key to life.
Right.
And they also eat a lot of beans.
Beans? I
Right.
mean, I was always thinking it was more like olive oil. That's what I had heard.
Yeah, beans do have their sources of protein, fibers, and so on, and they're actually very healthy for us. Not enough people get a lot of our supplementation or our nutrients from our diet, and this is why importance of sleep, the importance of supplementation, and the importance of quality nutrition, which going back to what you asked in the first place, is so important. And the importance is because it's so important, but it is very important to consume the right foods. And getting into a little bit about sleep. So timing. We'll go into that a little bit because that actually correlates with fitness. It correlates with thinking skills, making executive decisions, and your nutrients, how you're metabolizing. So proper sleep at night, eating the right foods. We've always spoke about this. High carbs right before bed, a lot of desserts. Start early with your kids. Start early with your diet.
Okay.
Push it to your whole family.
So what if my kid wants to eat a slice of cantaloupe right before bedtime?
I will say that's okay. And why? Because you have the fiber along with that sugar.
It's not just orange juice.
Correct. Don't even get
Don't
me
do
to
the juice. I don't do the
Don't even
juices,
get
but
to
I'm
me
just
to
saying some
orange
people
juice.
do.
Yes, and orange juice.
I don't do it.
Yeah, Tropicana, don't come after me. But
Sorry.
juices like that are not really good for you. I call them sugar that's tasted.
Just
with
eat your
taste.
fruit
With a flavor.
Yeah.
But yeah, sleep is so important. Replenishing your neuropeptides, which going back with those neurons firing and so forth like that, and your mood disorders that we would like to reduce. I want to really see that we enable ourselves to think quality the next day, to focus on our tasks at hand, especially when it comes to training. You're seeing the reproduction of muscles being grown and so forth like that. I mean, why? Because we're supplying what's needed. Sleep is the most important thing in the world.
So another quick question again, and I apologize if it's sort of basic, but in terms of timing, here's a question that may stump you. If I say 8 hours of sleep, let's say that's what I need, I figured it out. Timing-wise, does it matter if I get the 8 hours starting at midnight to 8 a.m. or starting at 8 p.m. to 4 a.m.?
Perfect. A lot of people ask that question actually. The biggest thing is that you have to look at how your body's producing your sugar levels, like cortisol levels especially.
Okay.
Cortisol actually puts sugars into your body or into the bloodstream, right? Because its goal is to replenish what's lost, right? So like when we're hungry, which is that fasting level at night, we get more cortisol. Cortisol is actually about, I would say, 4 to 8, depending on the person,
Okay.
is when they're going to get those cortisol levels. But those are reproducing. We get sugar when we're fasting at night,
Okay.
and then it gets put back into the tissue, right? That's where you see like some people being hungry based on their diets in the morning.
Yeah.
It's such a complex, I could go on and on and on, but
Yeah.
I will say, I would get an earlier sleep because once you get past that 8 a.m. level, your body's, there's no need for the sleep after that. So you want
Right.
to really start to reproduce.
See, that's good to know. I used to do the late night, and now my husband and my 3-year-old got me used to kind of getting into bed earlier.
Yeah.
And I find that I'm a little better rested, even if I get less sleep when I get up in the
Correct.
morning.
And about muscular development, like over the course of your sleep, like what times the length, as far as the length goes, is best for maximizing on muscular gains?
Well, I'll say, and you're saying in sleep.
Sleep, yep.
I'll just say it depends on the workout.
Okay.
And I'll leave that up to you, Mr.
Okay.
Celebrity Fitness Model. And I mean, and I say that
True.
because
Yeah.
you know, if you're working out harder, it's all about replenishing, right?
Right,
So,
right.
but you also, if you work out late, a lot of these guys get off work, they work out late. What do?
True.
They drink this high carb protein shake and crap, a bunch of sugars, right? Don't be fooled by carbohydrates and sugars. Know what's on the label. And I will say this: take care of yourself, because guess what? Just going into some of the costs that we talk about. Healthcare costs go up. You try to get healthcare costs
Bingo.
after being sick, right? You're gonna pay more.
Perfect
So-
segue, Dr. Kjelson. It's so true. Actually, that takes us right into the financial part of our timing topic. And that's a perfect example. People don't realize sometimes that timing, the cost of waiting in a financial world could be really expensive. Let me give you an example. Life insurance, right? And I talk so much about it. By the way, September is Life Insurance Awareness Month, and Anthony Anderson, the actor, the Hollywood actor, is our spokesperson. So, yay, go check it out, Liam. But anyway, so life insurance. Let's say a 30-year-old young man has no children, no wife, and no thoughts of it anytime soon, doesn't even have a dog to take care of, might say to me, well, why would I want to buy life insurance now? There's really no one that depends on me. That's just an added expense. Well, I would say, first of all, there are two things to that. Depending on the type of life insurance, if it's permanent life insurance, it has a whole other meaning to it, so we're not going to get into that. Let's talk about pure term insurance, the death benefit, X amount of years. In your case, let's say a 30-year-old young guy, I wrote some quotes down, averaged out from different companies, could probably get about $500,000 of life insurance for a little over $30 a month. Again, it depends on the company, 20-year term, assuming healthy 30-year-old man. However, you take that man and you say now he's 40 years old and still healthy, but not extremely healthy. Maybe now his cholesterol levels are a little higher, right? Maybe he's got some high blood pressure issues, because at 40, those things starts coming. Guess what? His cost of life insurance just tripled, probably around $90.
So let me ask you this.
That's only the 10
You're telling,
Yep.
yeah, you're telling me that for the cost of a going to and going back from, or let's say round
Right.
trip Uber,
Thank you.
Right?
Ah, you get it.
okay, is
You
the same
get it.
at 30 if I do it now versus
$90. Now you're talking
$90.
about a limo, you
Yeah,
know,
and-
or a car, a sedan.
right.
It's true.
I'm talking about renting a car for the entire day.
Right,
I mean,
exactly. No, you hit it on the nose, and I always tell people, listen, don't be penny wise, dollar foolish. Everybody that comes in my office, for example, you know, we laugh about it, because I do have 20-something-year-old clients. They're sort of like, what do I need life insurance? I'm like, trust me, you're going to thank me. And they do. Because the truth is, you're going to want it at some point in your life, again, depending on what type we're talking about. But I just wanted to explain that. There's another thing I want to add on the cost of waiting. Let's get away from life insurance for now. Let's just talk about saving money. People think, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm going to be making a ton of money, I don't
YOLO,
need to save now.
Right? They always say YOLO, you only live once, spend it now type of aspect.
Never heard of that. What is it, YOLO?
Oh, you got to get with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, not cool. Wait a second, what is
That's
it?
Owen. You only live once.
So yeah, they spend money
Exactly.
now.
Okay, so they spend money now. So check it out. If you're 30 years old and you say, okay, I'm going to put $200 a month away, let's say I could get you 7% return. And I'm just throwing out numbers there to keep it simple. And that would get you at about age 65, $355,000 if I put it away, all else being equal. If you'd started doing that at 40 years old and you wanted the same lump sum of 355,000, instead of putting 200 away a month, you would have to put $437 away a month just to get that same amount, all else being equal. So cost of waiting is huge, and it's important to think, I'm not always going to look this young and beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So think ahead.
So for all of you out there, that goes from a new pair of Jordans,
Yeah.
right, to half your rent this month.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Depending on
Thank you.
where you live.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
this show today was brought to you by Work Out Your Wealth, promoting healthier and wealthier living through sound financial and wellness services.
And also, it's also brought to you by Genomic, improving your quality of life through personalized testing.
And now we're back with our takeaway section, and I guess, as always, I will start it off. So today I'm going to talk a little bit with my doctor's lowdown about the genetic factors, and I want to talk about this because I find it very interesting. I find it very interesting for everybody here. Right now, they've come up with a lot of programs that are actually able to tell you about your muscle typing, what workouts are best for you, an ideal diet plan, and also the way you break down fats and metabolize carbohydrates, which I think is huge for people because there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, I'm obese because of my genes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great, but what does that mean, right? It's because genes only play so much of a role there. So we actually look deep into the genes to look to see how you are processing, how you are metabolizing, and now how you're showing results. So I think that's awesome. I think it's a huge breakthrough, and I think the programs are going to be very beneficial to so many people out there.
Thank you. I agree.
Awesome. All right, for Tony's takeaway, we're going to go back on the subject of pace and tempo. I want to challenge you to make a conscious effort to time yourself when you're doing your repetitions in the weight room. All right, so for instance, for guys, curls for the girls, right? Start at the top of that curl. I want you to take it down nice and slow. Count out 3, 2, 1. Hold it right there in the middle. And then go another 3 seconds, bringing it all the way down. Really work that eccentric contraction and watch how much the muscles contract and recruit. For ladies, squats, you can do the same thing. Once you're dropping it down, working on that booty, get down nice and low. Hold it at the bottom. Allow gravity to add that disadvantage. Recruit those muscles in the glutes and the quads. And then come up, squeeze, make sure they engage the abs. These are going to be essential for you growing muscularly throughout your workouts.
Yeah, guys, don't forget about the workouts with your legs as well. We don't want to look like SpongeBob's out here.
Awesome. Well, and Karen's concept is men do not look like SpongeBob. So Karen's concept is quickly related to timing, which is, listen, I'm an expert at predicting the past, okay? Because everybody talks about predicting the future. If you think you can time the market, that's fantastic, but it's pretty difficult. If you look back at the last 7 to 10 days, who could have predicted the kind of swings we've been having, right? Some of us could have predicted maybe like Tim Thielen, our guest last week, but the truth of the matter is the average investor cannot do that, and it's pretty dangerous to try and time the market. So my concept is work with an advisor and an expert to help you work you through your finances. Don't just try to time the market yourself.
And don't forget to follow us at blueprintradioshow.com where you can find all of our links to our previous shows and our social media, as well as our sponsors, which I want to thank Studio 23 for this beautiful location, Intuit Media Group, Echo Media Productions, Work Out Your Wealth, Genomic, and Matthew Zakowski, attorney at law, Mass Mutual Miami, which we love, and also our newest sponsor, White Noise.
Have a good day, guys.
Goodbye.